but it's WordPress, so I'm just trying to fiddle around, waiting, or should I be doing something else?
So,
Oh, I didn't.
I see a number of faces looking out.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of the header. We go to click the header, and here's where you get to work with those images. When this theme is installed, it's set up to show random from a selection of images. And this little button is checked, and that's how every time you look at it, it's a new image, and these are just sample images that came up with that. Next week we'll replace it with a logo, an image that reflects your business. But right now I don't have that content available. And I'm just going to get rid of the image totally and just go with the name of my business. So you scroll down a little further, and I'm going to remove header image. And notice as you start to work with WordPress, you'll get messages up at the top, and it'll give you feedback. It'll tell you what's going on. You'll get to know that, in this case, it was updated, to visit your site to see how it looks. And you can check as you go along. And without losing your spot, I just opened it in another window. And there I've gotten rid of that image that has nothing to do with selling real estate. And later we'll replace it with something like in that charity site where they have that big purple banner. We'll put something there that's meaningful for our businesses. So we have just 10 minutes, so that's why I want to make sure we get through some of that. I want to talk a little bit about posts and pages. Posts is that hello world that's now on the default on the website in the default install. Posts are tied to time. It says it was posted what date. Some themes will show the time of day it was posted, and you can put pictures in there, videos. It can be rich with media. It can be longer, but it's time oriented. It'll get pushed out of the way as you do more posts, and the newer ones will replace it. Your pages, on the other hand, are something that you would put an about me, a contact me, and I like to use a page for the home page. You don't have to have posts and a blog style entry on your home page. You can have about me. Here's how great a coach I am for real estate agents. Here's how I will sell you more more houses. Here, contact me. Here's my phone number. Sign up for my newsletter. Those sorts of things that you don't want pushed out of the way. Usually a home page, you want consistent content. You want your message, your marketing. And I'll show you how to replace we'll just use sample page for right now. So settings, reading. Your front page can display either your latest posts or a static page. I'm going to change it to static page. Static means that content's always there. It doesn't get pushed out of the way when a new post is created. And right now we have just one page, so I'll select it. I'll save changes. And notice up at the top that it was saved. I like to watch for that feedback, and then you can go back to your website.
Where do you see that it's saved?
Up here.
Annette, when you go to the post page that's right below front page, is that where you can choose, like if I had all of my pages about and policies and all of those things, and I chose one page to be a blog, would I go to post page and do blog so that it would continue to change as I updated things in that? And just choose that page and everything else stayed static? Does that make sense?
Partly my mind wandered as you were saying that, because I was reading this and thinking about what I was going to say next.
Sorry.
No, my fault.
But I was just wondering if I did the posts page underneath front page as my blog page and left everything else as static. Is that where you would, because I don't want the other ones to change, I just want the blog page to change as I enter new information.
So you're mixing static and posts. Well, let's talk about that. And partly what all content goes on the homepage is partly dependent on your theme. So there's,
Well, it would be, it's not actually my homepage, that would be, see, that's why I didn't know. The homepage stays static.
oh, okay.
But then one of like my 9 web pages is gonna be a blog. So I don't know if it's easier just to make that where it says posts and choose it, because it's in there right now.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a
Okay.
future session. I do that on Astonishing. I've got static pages, about me, services, stuff like that. And then I have a section that's called blog,
Okay.
and it's one of my menu items. So we'll get into that as we
Okay.
get a little bit further. So, so the home page is now the sample page. But let's go ahead. We're like almost out of time. I want to grab some content. Let's put a better page. This will be twofold. I'll show you how to create a page that actually says something better. Pages, I'll go to the all pages. It came with the sample page. We're going to add a new one. Now there's a lot to this page. There's a lot of different pieces. We'll get into more with content next week. But for today, we'll stick with the basics so that you have something on your site that's a little bit better than sample page. So I wrote up something really quick that's all made up content, and so I can copy paste. So my title of this is Become a Mega Producer with Today's Internet Savvy Buyers. Everybody, I made it kind of over the top so it would be laughable and make it more fun for this. So it's not anything serious. All right, so I have something open in Google Docs. I'm just copying and pasting it. So you have your marketing brochures, you have Word docs, you have files of all your description and about me. You would be doing the same thing, copy, paste. And we're gonna do more of that next week. And I'll tell you about what to bring next week. So you have a key thing about WordPress, you have, and this is true on WordPress.com, you have a tab for visual, you have a tab for text. Visual shows you the formatting, bolder, red text, bigger fonts, if you paste it in. Text will strip out all that formatting, and then you can add it in yourself. This is an area that we'll talk about more, because it can be, I'll show you a few tricks, because it can get frustrating when you're not sure what's going on. So if let's type it into, paste it into visual. I kept my bullet points, some of the spacing, but I might have introduced some new things.
And
Not sure.
publish is what saves it.
And publish. And now that I've published it, it says update when I make changes. I'm going to go back to reading.
Excuse me. When you make a title, your big long title, is each new page a new tab on your website?
Depends. With this theme, yes.
Okay.
And not all themes. Some themes you have to manually add it, so you can have.
So how would that title become a tab?
Okay, it's not, because I'm doing this for a homepage. I wouldn't do that. I would change that
Okay.
for a real tab.
If it was just another page, you'd title it as the tab would be?
Yeah, I would say learn more.
Okay,
Or I
okay.
would give it a much better name. And there's different ways to control that. So I changed, because we're running short on time, I changed the front page to display this Become a Mega Producer. And we're going to refresh it. And there at least is some really quick content. I'm going to take off the comments, but I think we're about out of time. We'll do that next week. But here most of our time was bogged down in people getting online and trying to figure out how to get their hosting. Once we got on, how like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you're able to start working with the site. Next week, we're going to layer in putting an image on the top, a logo. We're going to do more pages. We're going to name them. We're going to have something in navigation that works a little better. So I have on the handout some homework assignments. Bring with you on your laptop your logos, any images you have, any photos, like a picture of you, that, it's like I would do that on Better Home Sales. Like real estate agents always feature their own photos on everything they do. So I would have my photo. I would have my marketing material that I could copy paste from, say, Word or OpenOffice or Publisher, whatever you use. And you can just start copy pasting it in. You're not sitting there typing. And also get in there, for anybody who is able to get in there and look around, try it on WordPress.com. Try it on your website. You can always delete the pages. You can save them for later. There's different ways to work with that. And I know there's a few questions and we're running out of time.
If you could show how to get rid of the comment box.
I believe I use a lot of different versions of WordPress at the same time. So,
Discussion set.
I think it's discussion. It's been in different places over the years.
If they allow people.
Okay, allow people to post comments on new articles. I unchecked it. And I will disallow link notifications from other blogs called Pingbacks. And I'm going to,
What does that mean?
that is, so I got one this morning from Leslie, because she posted something, I had a survey for this on expats, and I got a pingback that somebody posted a link to your site on their blog, and I got notified of that link. So Leslie posting something gave me a pingback. And you save your changes. But I'm going to go back to that page, because I created that page before I had that set. And I'm going to show you something else. Comments, I'm going to talk about comments. Comments are an area of hassle. If you're really just not getting comments, it can be easier to turn them off. This is screen options. I'm going to go through this fast. Discussion, comments, these are things that it shows me. We'll just turn everything off. So I go down here. Okay, so down here in discussion, it says allow comments. I'm going to take that off. Allow trackbacks and pingbacks, so it won't show up on this page that somebody else posted that.
You have to do this as well as what you did before.
This is turning off all comments. Will turn it off. I created this page before I turned off comments, and so I had to go back and create something, change it for a comment or a page that was already in the system, and we hit update.
And you did that in settings?
Yes, settings. Now I know there's a ton of questions, but
They're all individual
or you gotta.
If you want to take a couple questions there, you could still,
Okay.
you could do that, and then we'll need to. And then we have another event in here at 2, but not until then. So, you know, if you want to stick around and try to work your way through something, and we'll try to be as much help as we can through that time.
I've started this page. It doesn't have a lot on it. It's written on the handout I provided, but it's going to have some links and some tips, and somehow I'll collect the big questions and try to answer them there too, or put a link to a page where I answer them. I'm doing it all in WordPress. It's all a WordPress site, so maybe you can start to look at the pages and subpages and what shows up on the menu and what doesn't.
Is WordPress 3.5 one the latest? That's what I just downloaded.
Okay, I think so. It'll tell you in your dashboard. If you're running 3.0, which is really old, it'll tell you you need to upgrade and what you're running and what the current version is. But I'll take a few questions.
Does discussion settings exist in .com?
That I'm not sure, because I've created one WordPress.com site.
They do.
They do, okay. I did it last week because I was just doing it as an experiment for this class. So I'm not as well versed.
It looks like I'm in a, she wants to just read it, but that I have like a nice version of WordPress. Blog aspect of it.
How about I'll look at, that's very specific to you, I'll look at that as, if there's any questions. And it looks like it might be. Okay.
So,
thank you all. You were amazingly patient and amazingly quiet, and, you know, getting this many people in a room and trying to take them through something, you know, as specific and technical as this is just, I just so appreciate all your help, and that you're also very patient and methodical, so it's gonna work, it's gonna work. And it won't work for everybody right in the actual course of the 1 hour, but if you're committed to making it work, we're committed to helping you make it work. So just, you know, come talk with us. And any final comments?
So next week, you want to, or somehow in the interim, I'll try to answer as many questions as I can and getting you to getting your login to your posting. Well, they'll stay a little bit. And bring content, bring your logo, bring stuff on computer files and disk or your hard drive that you can copy paste and load up and work with media. And we'll start loading it up with content pages and posts. Oh, I do office hours on Tuesdays from 11 till noon before
So we
these
will be
sessions.
here a little early to help people who didn't quite finish up. We can be here 11 to noon before the class starts. We'll be available to answer any questions.
And we didn't introduce Randy. So Randy is Annette's husband, and I didn't introduce Jason. So Jason and I are partners here at Officexpats. This is your support team. All right, thank you everyone. We really appreciate it. Come early again next week.
It looks really confusing, but it'll settle in once it becomes a little more familiar. And you will get